various design methodologies. In this case, showcase my competence in participatory design and design ethnography. Also, like how I can bring like a speculative thinking and speculative design. And considering this project is almost like a 4 or 5 years old, and now the speculative design is becoming more trendy and on demand. I have been practicing speculative design for a while. But the challenge was like a designing new ATM machine experience in 4 hours. So that was the time limit. And the concept that I came up with kind of like a during the time I was observing lots of like a signals and the trends and so on. And NFT was big back in the day, and also like this like how to say comfortable, cozy, or like a safe working environment. And there has been like lots of insecurities going on back in the day also. And also like I was a lot thinking about like a psychological challenges about like working from your home or not physically being in the office, and how you can break those cycles and help people to have like a more um kind of healthy balance idea that like there is like this cafe that created by HMM, and HMM has cafes as well. And in this cafe we have this kind of like a machine that like you can use to scan and like your artwork or document it in a way that you might need to do, and like employees can come and like help you to turn into NFT, and like you can sell, or like you can put it online, and in at the same time you can craft your artwork in this cafe. And this was like before the AI tools, but I kind of like the like a sketch vibe, and this sketch even it's like something good. I really enjoy that, and that's like one of my standing always combine and experiment like what you know and learn something new. Also combine like a traditional and old craft together with what's coming up on the pipeline from AI or emerging technology, and kind of like a mix things up, like a find a balance. I think everything is like depending to each other, like depending on the context, the situation, like the industry business you're in, you need to mix things up, or you need to rely one thing more than another. That's it. So this is like a what if H&M offer this kind of like a cafe service for people to turn their craft and art into the NFT and conduct blockchain trading. Um, and it was really fun projects to work on. I think I wanted to present like a speculative feature where there is more regulated policy implementing around the blockchain trading as well. I think that's like a more like a if you imagine like a future cron, that's like a probable future that like I imagine myself. And when I was developing this project, like I follow like I have done a couple of mini interviews with I will showcase in a while, but also like it's more like auto ethnographic. It's like in person, like a lots of lots of like factors, elements, inspiration, analysis, observation coming from within myself, because if I have you have just 4 hours and you have a limited time frame. Um, and going into the presentation, I want to show like a raw work, like how I work. First of all, I check the ATM machines, like a close and around. I realize I don't know what ATM means actually, so I try to understand that concept. And later on, I went to a couple of different machines and kind of do observation, how the like a tangible interaction, in physical form of the machine design. What are the reasoning behind that? What are the like different features or attributes around accessibility, ergonomics, and tangible interaction, UX, like a digiphysical interaction, and so on. Later on, I kind of like did like a more proper problem definition, and I try to like break it down, like how I can explore that problem more within the time frame. I kind of like put down the like kind of like a tools or like a methodological approaches that I feel comfortable using and I feel confident. And later on, I also like to talk about like, okay, if this was like a, instead of 4 hours, it was like a, I don't know, two sprint projects, or it was like 3 or 6 months project, how I would approach it. So I break out down the time frame in the form, but it's like a almost like a multiple diamond methodology, and you have these iterative cycles. Later on, I kind of like a sit down, I think 20 minutes or so, and just observe like a people how they use ATM machines without like kind of freaking out anyone. And there's like a, depending on the context, how people use it. Well, for instance, like you can go into the building and you can use like a ATM machines there. Also, like there's like outdoor unit and like how people use that. As well as I try to use different machine myself and document my experience and journey. Later on, kind of like like I conduct like a couple of like a fast Q&A, like an interview with the people, like a 15, 20 minutes maximum. Also, like based on that, I sit down and sketch a couple of like a really rough user journey maps and kind of like a document the insights and the information I got from the people. Then I turn this into like a feedback and kind of like a detailed analysis, like again using like a journey map methodology and so on. After the interviews and the journey mapping, I wanted to uh, at that time, I was really big in the non-creative design and non-critical thinking. I am still is like a big part of me, how I approach the problem definition, problem solving, and so on, because it's like a big part of the speculative design, where one of the areas that I am focusing on. Um, I use like a couple of like ideation techniques and kind of like ideate around. Whereas I have on this like a crazy eight, like explore a couple of thoughts really quickly, and while doing that, I think about like a stakeholder map ecosystem in the future and do done like a feature casting and like how these like artifacts and the service can like live in the future, how they can exist. And then coming from the macro to the micro setting, I kind of like a done quick interaction mapping in my mind, like how this can work out. Later on, I kind of like go with like a couple of ideas that like more interesting. I did like a quick physical mock-ups with like a combining things laying around and kind of like doing like a sketching around them. And at that time, I kind of like come with the idea about this like okay, ATM machine in the cafe. That sounds quite interesting. So let's develop that. And moving forward,